So welcome back everybody to Orange Track Outlaws. Today we are going to customize this Hot Wheels Ferrari F40. Very cool car, one of my favorites. It's got the rear opening hatch. This one in particular has got the yellow 40 Tampos, the Ultra Hot Wheels. Pretty cool car, really fast on the track. But I got a pretty good idea here what I want to do. Looking for a wide body kit, so that is what we're going to go after here. So this thing is already taken apart. What I want to do here is to get rid of this rear opening hatch and kind of seal that whole thing up so nothing ain't flopping around. We'll get into that here in a minute. However, I got it drilled out. We'll take it apart here and see that it does need a bit of cleaning here on the chassis. Interiors, no big deal. It's small enough anyway. I'm just going to clean that up, maybe paint it. The body here, we're going to strip that out and get to work on doing a wide body kit here, and we're going to get that rear hatch welded back in there. So that is the plan. So here we got our body. I JB welded that rear hatch back into place. It actually doesn't look too awful bad. It fit pretty good. I wanted to weld that back on there because I want to do a wide body kit, and when I wide out those rear fender flares, it kind of crossed over both parts there. So got that sanded up pretty good. I got my little pop can strips on the fender wells here, so I can put some milliput in here and try to widen out those fender flares, both in the front and the back. So once you get them strips super glued in there, you can just take a little bit of that milliput or the EPO putty or whatever you got, and it's just a two-part mix. Just roll it together till it's good mixed up, and take some thin little strips and just kind of fit them in there and let that bad boy dry for a little bit, and then you got a heck of a lot of sanding to do to kind of get the shape and what you're looking for. So on top of the wide body kit here, I added some parts like some side skirts and some lower front cowl there to the chassis here. Super glued those things on, and now we're going to hit this with a little bit of black paint here to kind of blend it all together. Should be pretty cool. Excuse me, I'm not going to hit black paint yet. I'm going to prime it, but then I hit black paint. So I'm going to prime this bad boy out and get it all ready for some black paint. I'm not sure if I'm going to go gloss black on that. Probably just some kind of a satin. But here's a look at our body here after we took our pop can strips off and got everything sanded down. The wide body kit's looking pretty cool here. So we're going to prime this whole thing up and see how it looks. And if all is well, we're going to move on to our base color. So hit this not too bad, not too late with a little primer. Let it sit. I'm probably going to hit it again just to make sure everything's good and covered. Anything's filled that needs to be filled, and then we'll let that thing dry overnight. So this is what she looks like, primered up. It's looking pretty good. It looks like the fenders are looking pretty even. So what we're going to go here on our base coat, we're going to use some splash paints. These are some pretty cool paints. Love these things. Got a nice glare on that bottle, but the color is Deep Impact Blue. So what we're looking for is kind of like a dark navy. I thought that would make a pretty cool Ferrari looking color. So we're going to coat this thing. First color coat, not very heavy. Make sure you get it on there, everything good coverage. Get it in all the little nooks and crannies and all that. And this stuff doesn't take very long to dry. It's kind of like the Createx colors. Just I'll wait 5 minutes, 6-7 minutes or so, and you'll be able to come back with coat number 2. So coat 1 looks good. I think it's going to shape up to be a really sweet color once we get some clear coat on there. But we're going to move into coat 2 here, and this is going to be a little bit more of a saturation coat. Put this on a little heavier than the first, to kind of see how it looks. You don't want to go too heavy, don't go too crazy. Obviously you don't want any runs. After we get coat 2, we're going to let it dry. I'm probably going to do a third coat just to kind of finish it off. Probably not going to film that though. Just another coat of blue basically. Once we get that done, we'll hit it with some clear coat after it all dries up. So here we go on Reassembly. So I did end up detailing a little bit of that interior, painted it black, gave it some red seats. I cleaned the windshield up. That thing turned out really well. Sanded it up, polished it up. So here's our chassis. Painted that up black. I did re-chrome. Actually I just taped off the engine, and here's our body all done. I gave some black accents. I put a little Ferrari decal on the nose. Detailed the rear lights. So this thing's looking pretty dang awesome. So once you get this thing put back together and screwed in, I'll put it up on the rotisserie for you, and you can kind of see the finished product here. But one thing I did have to do to kind of space my wheels out a little bit, so I didn't have to cut and using the axle tubes, is I just put these little beads on the axle tube, and that kind of spaced the tires out a little bit, since the where the axle tube would go is a little bit thinner than the axles I had that were already on the wheels that I wanted to use. So as opposed to cutting them and using tubes and all that, I just spaced them out with some beads, and that should put them in the right spots where I wanted them, right under those Widebody fender wells. So actually turned out real cool. I really like the blue looking Ferrari. I know it's kind of rare, but chrome rims, yellow interior, or the red interior. I think it looks pretty dang awesome. Nice little wide body kit. So wheels are rolling, everything's looking pretty good. So we're gonna give this get it polished up, get all our finger marks off of it. And first we'll take a quick step back here and see what we started with, which is the red Hot Wheels Ferrari F40. This one was the ultra hot version. So we installed wide body kits, did wheel and tire swap, put some real riders on there, got some fresh blue paint, changed the interior up a little bit, so it looks like a totally different car. And here is what we finished with. Wide body Ferrari F40. I think it's pretty dang sweet. Everything's I think I had to touch just about everything on here, including putting that rear window in. That thing was kind of a pain, since I had to weld the rear hatch on without the window. I had to kind of squeeze that and pinch it in and kind of wedge it in there, and that took a little work, but it went in. I think everything else looks pretty cool. Wheels look good on there. I think the paint job's shining. I like how the interior, you can kind of see that, it looks really good. We got the little Ferrari tampo on the hood. I think goes pretty good. I just like the body kit. I thought this thing would look sweet with that kind of a look to it. So hope you guys enjoyed another custom. If you do, please hit that like button. Subscribe if you haven't already. Go ahead and check out some of my other videos. Got a lot of other customs, some restorations, got a lot of races, all kinds of stuff to look at. Got a handful of other things I'm planning out too, so ring that bell and it'll notify you of anything coming up. And thanks again, guys, and see you on the next one.